Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you've been following me, you know I'm participating in ShakeTube 2017, which is a 15-week read-along of Shakespeare plays. This past week we read The Merchant of Venice. This is a play basically about revenge. We have our main character, Shylock, who's a Jewish moneylenderer, and he feels very bitter over the treatment and comments he's received from various Venetian Christians, particularly our other main character, Antonio, and his friends Bassanio and Lorenzo and several others. Now, Bassanio is in love with a very rich noblewoman by the name of Portia, and he is in need of some money, but his friend Antonio, all his money is sort of tied up in merchandise aboard ships. So they end up having to go to this moneylenderer, Shylock, and this is his perfect opportunity to seek revenge. And he states his basic feelings as he sees Antonio approach. He says, "I hate him, for he is a Christian. I will feed fat the ancient grudge I bear him. He hates our sacred nation, and he rails, even there where merchants do congregate, on me, my bargains, and my well-won thrift," which he calls interest. "Cursed be my tribe if I forgive him." So you see this total hatred he has for him. Later on within the play, he comes up with this scheme to get back Antonio. Saying, you know, you belittle me for the fact that I charge interest and have a living based on this, and he doesn't like Antonio because he does lend out money, and because he doesn't charge interest, it makes it harder for him in his profession. So he says, "Okay, so you don't charge interest?" He says, "No, I never do." "Okay, so out of kindness, I will loan you the money. I won't charge you interest. But just as a joke, let's say if you don't pay this money back on such and such time, I will exact a pound of your flesh." And Antonio just sees it as a joke. You know, he's not worried. He has, like I said, his money on board ships and merchandise, and that will all turn around. He'll be able to repay the loan. So he doesn't see it as anything serious, although Bassanio's kind of worried about this. And he agrees to this contract. Later on, we'll talk to another character about this little term in the contract. The person asks, "Well, I'm sure if he forfeit, thou will not take his flesh. What's that good for?" Well, Shylock says, "To bait fish withal. If it will feed nothing else, it will feed my revenge." So this is a theme that sort of runs through the entire play. He's very bitter, and you have this famous stanza where he says, "Hath not a Jew eyes, hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions, fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian? If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge?" So he's a very bitter character. He has a daughter by the name of Jessica, and this is another kind of side story within the play. She does not like living in the household of her father. She does not like his character, and she is in love with a Christian, and ends up running away, taking some money and her mother's ring, which was left to her father. And there's some parts within the play which I was kind of shocked. His response to this is like, you know, he's told, "Your daughter spent in Genoa, as I heard one night, 80 ducats." Ducats are like a monetary term, and for him, he's like, "Oh, you stick a dagger in me." He says, "I'll never see my gold again. Not I'll never see my daughter, but I'll never see my gold again." So for him, money is everything, and revenge is everything. Here we have this contract with Antonio's pound of flesh on the line. That's the bond that Shylock requires. And when we hit Act 4, we have found that this contract has been defaulted upon. He has not paid back the money on time, and now Shylock can get his revenge. And we end up with the courtroom scene. And it's all culminating, and no matter what, he wants his pound of flesh. And through a brilliant piece of wit and cleverness, one of the main female characters within this, Portia, manages to turn things around. And I really liked her character and her cleverness and the way she comes about doing that. In trying to convince him to be merciful, she says, "The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes." So he'll be a better person. He'll be blessed by being merciful towards Antonio. But nothing will turn his tide, and that's where she comes up with this clever plan. I found this really intriguing play. There's, like I said, also, besides Jessica's side story, Portia has a side story of her own with regards to who her future husband will be and how it was laid out in a will by her father. And of course, Bassanio is her main love interest, and she reciprocates that as well. So it's interesting seeing how all these kind of love interests kind of tie together. And I really enjoyed this play. This was really good. Seeing him kind of get his comeuppance in the end. He's sort of basically like an Ebenezer Scrooge type character, but you don't have that sort of change in the character at the end like you do in A Christmas Carol, sadly. But yeah, I thought it was really good, really held my interest, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So that's my thoughts on The Merchant of Venice, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.